Forget the Iran you think you know. That includes the regime that has ruled for more than 40 years. In a moment, you will see the truths the media never shows. Yes, the media portrays Iran only through political tensions, wars, and sanctions. But the reality is far more mysterious and very different. And in this long documentary, I will reveal the truths no one ever tells you. Not the headlines you see on the news, but the real Iran. And what you are about to see will stay in your mind for the rest of your life. First of all, Iran is not just endless deserts like the ones you see in movies. In fact, it has less desert than many of its neighbors. For example, while about 95% of Saudi Arabia's land is covered by desert, in Iran this figure is only around 22%. But if you travel north, you will encounter mountains covered in lush green forests. And there, you will also come across the vast waters of the Caspian Sea, the largest enclosed inland sea in the world. Iran is such a country that on the same day you can enjoy skiing and snow at the foothills of the northern mountains, and then, on the very same day, enjoy the beach and the sea along the southern coasts. This extraordinary geographical diversity not only fuels tourism with the northern forests and seaside festivals, but also creates a unique, natural setting for weddings and intimate family gatherings. In fact, the main reason Iran has such a diverse climate is its massive land area of 1,648,195 square kilometers. Because of this, it ranks 17th in the world by total land size. At the same time, with a population of nearly 90 million, it is one of the most populous countries in Western Asia. Iran's geographic location is, in many ways, a major advantage. Situated at the very heart of Western Asia, the country stands as one of the continent's most important trade hubs. Surrounded by Turkey, Iraq, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, and Armenia, Iran effectively serves as a gateway between Western and Central Asia. Historically, this same position has also placed the country at the center of military conflicts and political struggles. Unlike many landlocked nations, Iran has access to both the Caspian Sea and the Persian Gulf, giving it a powerful position in regional maritime trade. In particular, the port of Bandar Abbas, one of the busiest ports in the Persian Gulf, plays a crucial role in handling goods arriving from China, Scandinavia, and even the United States. However, at the moment, all port entries and departures are closed, and maritime trade has come to a halt. Now, let's set the geopolitical tensions aside and dive deeper into Iran itself. The heart of the country truly beats in the capital, Tehran, with a population exceeding 9.6 million. When the greater metropolitan area is included, that number rises to more than 16 million. Mislead you. Unlike many Western countries, Iran is not dominated by massive metropolitan sprawl. The country maintains a remarkably balanced structure between dense urban centers and rural regions. At this point, I need to make an important clarification. Contrary to common belief, Iran is not an Arab country. It is true that it is located in the Middle East, that the vast majority of its people are Muslim, and that Persian may sound similar to Arabic to unfamiliar ears, but none of these facts make Iran an Arab nation. The name Iran literally means land of the Aryans, reflecting the country's ancient roots tied to the Aryan peoples. Meanwhile, Persian belongs to the Indo-European language family, whereas Arabic belongs to an entirely different Semitic language family. Never forget this distinction. So, what is it really like to live in Iran? Is it beautiful, or is it truly as bad as people think? If you believe it's bad, then you're probably one of those people who judge a book by its cover. Because life in Iran, contrary to what many assume, is still remarkable even today. Chaos, economic pressure, and sanctions don't push people into constant complaints. Instead, they pull them closer together. Especially in major cities like Isfahan, Shiraz, and Tehran, Generation Z has carved out its own spaces of freedom. In modern coffee chains like Lamiz, or in boutique cafes known as third places, young people gather and create their own social worlds. They don't just drink coffee there. Even though access is limited, they connect to the internet and stay linked to the rest of the world. Iranians are also genuinely a very happy people, almost as if it's written into their DNA. The reality of 40% inflation, a devalued rial, and the current turmoil certainly makes life more difficult. Yet instead of pushing people into isolation, these hardships strengthen social solidarity and keep the streets alive. Because for many people, life isn't defined by politics. It lives in family dinners and in the deep bonds formed among friends. One of the best things about Tehran is its safe and inexpensive metro system. With 7 active lines and more than 160 stations, this massive network carries nearly 3 million people every day, and it does so at an incredibly low cost. For just 10 cents, yes, you heard that right, only 10 cents, you can travel across the entire city of Tehran. And while doing so, you also get to admire the marble craftsmanship and artistic structures inside the stations. It almost feels as if you are walking through an underground museum. When it comes to gender, a pragmatic balance is maintained. At the front and rear of the trains, there are cars reserved exclusively for women. These serve as a convenience for women, especially during peak hours. However, anyone who prefers can also travel in the mixed cars. At the same time, Iran has made major investments in modern transportation infrastructure, making domestic travel easier than ever. The country has one of the largest railway networks in Asia. High-speed trains connect major cities within just a few hours, providing a tremendous advantage. Internationally, Iran is also well connected to neighboring countries by road, rail, and air, making it a convenient destination for both travelers and businesses. With numerous international airports, Iran offers direct flights to nearly every major city across Europe and beyond. Imam Khomeini International Airport serves as the country's main aviation hub, welcoming millions of passengers each year, while the airports in Shiraz, Isfahan, and Mashhad provide additional global connections. For travelers coming from North America, Asia, or the Middle East, Iranian airports often serve as entry points to the rest of Asia thanks to their affordable prices and well-connected airline routes. If your goal is to truly experience Tehran, I would suggest starting with the Grand Bazaar, which has stood for centuries, because this is not just a place where goods are bought and sold. With its labyrinth-like corridors stretching over 10 kilometers, it is a vast social center where the pulse of Iran's economy and politics has long been felt. The bazaris, the merchants who work here, are a deeply rooted community that has had a voice in decisions shaping the country's destiny since the Safavid era. Here you can find everything from sharp, scented spices to exquisite Persian carpets, from souvenirs to delicious coffee. And the shop owners are so kind and welcoming that they may offer you tea without even knowing you and spend hours chatting with you. Of course, you don't have to come here just to shop, because once you see the architecture of this extraordinary bazaar, you'll likely enjoy it even more than the shopping itself. When you notice the brick craftsmanship, the acoustic engineering, and especially the skylights like those in the Timchere Krabian, you won't be able to hide your admiration. The beautiful domes decorating the ceilings and the arched passageways will transport you to a remarkable stage of history. Now let's come to what I consider the country's greatest strength: Iranian women. Every woman you see in Iran is, in many ways, a figure of a silent revolution. The iconic reflection of Persian aesthetics, the thousand-year-old sorrow resting within deep brown eyes, thick, dark eyebrows, high arched noses, and full lips, symbolizes not only a unique beauty, but also a powerful sense of identity. But no identity comes without a price. And the price Iranian women are required to pay is the obligation of the hijab, the headscarf. Let's turn the clock back and return to the 1979 Iranian Revolution. After the modernization efforts of the Shah's era, Ayatollah Khomeini came to power and made the headscarf law mandatory, not only as a religious requirement, but also as a symbol of an anti-Western identity. With this radical shift, the legal marriage age for women was lowered, custody of children in divorce cases was granted to fathers, and polygamy became fully legal. Women who did not wear the headscarf were subjected to extremely severe physical punishments. Those who wore makeup or dressed in bright-colored clothing and shoes were detained by the morality police and punished in the same way. However, following recent developments, there are claims that Khomeini has died and that Iran may become a more civilized place, but only time will tell. Anyway, the restrictions imposed by Khomeini continued until 2022, when Mahsa Amini died. After her funeral, Iran rose again before the eyes of the world, almost like a phoenix from the ashes, with the rightful slogan, "Woman, Life, Freedom." Today, although the headscarf law is still technically in force on paper, the government largely realizes it has lost ground. In major cities like Isfahan, Shiraz, and Tehran, you can now see that more than half of the women no longer wear headscarves. Moreover, the police have significantly reduced their enforcement on this issue. It is also important not to overlook the strong presence of Iranian women in education. More than 60% of university students in the country are women. They are active in every field, from the arts to technology, from medicine to engineering. They can now file for divorce and also have a presence in areas of political representation. However, it would be inaccurate to say they are completely free in every sense. For example, the legal guardianship law remains one of the biggest challenges for women. Under this law, a married woman must obtain permission from her husband to travel abroad, while an unmarried woman must receive permission from her father. Even if that woman is a scientist, the situation does not change. Quite tragicomic, isn't it? Now, let me tell you about something that is not tragicomic, but purely tragic. Get ready to be shocked. What would you say if I told you that gender inequality in Iran has reached such a point that even relationships before marriage are sometimes tolerated? Yes, you heard that right. In fact, there is a tradition known as sigher. According to this custom, a man and a woman are considered married for a temporary period, but no official civil marriage takes place. During this time, the couple is allowed to have sexual relations as they wish. The conditions are as follows. The woman must be widowed or divorced, and if she is single, permission must be obtained from her family. Beyond that, there are no additional restrictions. The man, however, is expected to be financially capable. Usually, a simple ceremony is held in a mosque where a formal contract is made, and the couple lives together as if married for an average of 3 to 5 months. It can also be extended if both sides wish. Although some segments of society oppose this tradition, many human rights advocates believe it offers a practical solution to the emotional and sexual needs of young people. Considering that nearly 65% of the country's population is under the age of 25 and unemployment rates are high, some argue that this practice can help prevent illegal prostitution. However, it cannot really be said that it works. Thousands of children are born from such relationships without ever knowing their fathers, and many men are unwilling to marry a woman who has previously entered into a sigher marriage. Another surprising fact about Iran is that, in some communities, women can actually choose a new wife for their husbands. Yes, you heard that correctly. Women can select a suitable spouse for their husbands. However, this tradition does not exist across all of Iran. It is mostly specific to a community known as the Qashqai. This Turkic origin group migrated from Asia to Iran during the 11th and 12th centuries. Today, with a population of around 400,000, they are one of the largest nomadic communities in the country. They mainly live around Shiraz and in the Baseri region of Fars province, maintaining a lifestyle closely connected to nature in lush green landscapes. In this community, if a couple cannot have children, women, especially wives who are unable to conceive, can choose another woman for their husbands, specifically so that the family can have children. And once the woman is chosen, the husband cannot refuse her. Moreover, in this society, remaining single is often seen as unacceptable. Beyond their unusual traditions, the Qashqai are also known for their famous Persian carpet weaving and intricate wool craftsmanship. Qashqai women display both their skills and their striking beauty during festivals, wearing elegant headscarves and traditional dresses. Although the government has tried to settle this tribe permanently, these efforts have largely failed. The Qashqai people take great pride in their centuries-old lifestyle and traditions. However, in recent years, economic hardships and climate change have destabilized their way of life, forcing many of them to migrate to major cities in search of work. Alongside all of this, we should not forget Iran's breathtaking natural landscapes. This country is a remarkable stage of nature, stretching from the humid forests of the Caspian to the scorching sands of the Lut Desert. One of the most striking aspects of this diversity is the strong cultural pride of the Iranian people. The country has managed to preserve its folklore, music, and unique traditions to this day. Festivals such as Genelia and Van celebrate Persian heritage with great enthusiasm, bringing together people of all ages through a shared connection to their roots. If the war ends and you travel to Iran, you will see that despite the chaos, people still laugh, remain joyful, and are eager to connect with you. Iranians love foreigners so much that even if they have never met you before, they may invite you into their homes and host you for days free of charge. And believe me, they will make you feel more comfortable than even the finest hotels. Did you lose your way? Instead of simply giving directions, an Iranian will often walk you there. Are you hungry and out of money? They will feed you and might even put some money in your pocket. The only real challenge you might face is the language. In major cities like Isfahan, Shiraz, and Tehran, English is widely spoken. But among older generations and in rural areas, people mostly speak Persian. Still, this is not truly a problem. When there is sincerity and kindness, every heart speaks the same language. And today, something is destroying that very sincerity. War. Sadly, it is true. Iran is currently in a conflict with the United States and Israel. Those ancient lands, once known as the cradle of civilization, are now being bombed. Perhaps people will lose their homes. Perhaps the Iranian regime will completely collapse. I cannot know that. The only thing I do know is this: wars have no winners. There are only losers, and the one that has always lost is humanity. Don't be wrong, my friends. My intention is not to defend Iran, but to defend humanity. No matter which country it is, my stance will always be the same. One day the sound of bombs will fade, the clouds of smoke will clear, and if you travel to Iran, you will understand exactly what I mean. These are my views. But what are yours? Who will be the winner and the loser of this war?